Chemical engineering is often seen as tough, overwhelming, and scattered. But what if the problem is in the subject itself? What if it's the way we learn it? Today's guest believes exactly that. Academically, his journey is just as inspiring from NIT Surat to now working on real world projects at Engineers India Limited. In today's episode, we will go beyond just his achievements. We will talk about his content creation strategies, gate preparation strategies, and what it really takes to build a 10,000 plus niche page as an engineer, all this while working full time. If you are a student, young professional, or someone trying to learn in public and create content without getting overwhelmed, this conversation is for you. Let's get started to yet another amazing episode of Engineering Talk. And let's welcome Dev Sharma. Welcome, Dev. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to this city.
Okay, so before we get into the questions, can you tell me a bit about yourself? Of course, we all know about you from your LinkedIn profile, but just for our viewers, we would love to hear it from you.
Yeah, so hello, everyone. Myself, Dev Sharma. I am a recent chemical engineering graduate from NIT Surat. Uh, I have done several internships throughout my coursework and have gained a lot of like academic as well as industry experience from all of that. Start of this year, I started my content creation journey as well as my preparation for GATE. So those went hand in hand, and I got a very good rank in GATE examination this year, and I was able to secure a job at Engineers India Limited, a Navratna PSU, which mainly works in the engineering design of a lot of petrochemical refineries and a lot of other units. So that has been my work, and this year has been more or less like a shift from being a college student to now being an early professional in this industry. So yeah.
Thank you so much. So now let's get into detail. Dev, one thing everyone notices immediately is your consistency. People see the post, but not the process behind it. So, what does your day-to-day content creation routine actually look like behind the scenes?
Yeah, so thank you for that. Day-to-day routine mostly works on how well I plan this content. So for planning what I'm going to post or what all is in my mind, I have created a Notion page where I ideate all my topics. I have series of posts which I want to talk about, and when to schedule them, when to post them. All of that I have like thought about and planned already before working exactly into making those carousels or thinking about those captions and all. So having a
Mhm.
plan makes my time uh, being utilized in a particular fruitful way. So I know that today I will be going to work on a post which is going to be posted on so and so date. So if I'm generating some images, say from Gemini or something, or if I'm able to uh, create some captions, or I will have to create some templates on Canva for this carousels which I do. I have already in mind that okay, this slot of time I have to uh, keep free for that. So on daily basis, I don't prefer doing this because the schedule becomes a lot of stringent. So on the daily basis, I would like try and create try and ideate more and more things based on what I see throughout the day. So if I see something new, if I see
Okay.
that okay, this is interesting, we can talk about this, I just keep a note somewhere. And on weekends mostly I do all of my content creation for the next week. So that's how I try to manage it all.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. So, how long do you take while creating a post, or maybe how many hours do you spend every week for content creation?
So it varied a lot. Initially, when I was starting, while I was starting like the start of this year, it took me I said to myself that I have 2 3 hours in the evening for preparing for gate. I'll spend just 1 hour creating this thing, which because I like designing, I like graphic designing, and I find that part enjoyable. So why not put in with something which I would want to as my notes. So that was my beginning where I started there. So that, but as I grew creating more and more content, what I realized that there is a fixed formula in my head. So this like this text will go here, this text will be like this, these are the colors I will be using and all of that, that you grow more when you keep doing it more and more. So as of now, per week I would say cumulatively I would spend around 12 10 12 hours like
Okay.
ideating. And yeah, and that is not in like transit. So if I'll be traveling from some place to another place, I can be thinking about it, or I can be creating a caption and things like that. So it is not that I have to sit wholeheartedly for this at one place, and but I can be doing it in transit with a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I can really see the output of those 10, 12 hours in your post, the quality of the post that you have in your profile. Thank you so much for sharing that. So you grew a niche chemical engineering focused page to 27,000 followers. So what were the most important actions or mindset shifts that contributed to this growth?
Okay, so first of all, I didn't start with a whole plan of how this is going to shape and all of that. I just figured it out as it went. But going from 0 to 27,000 was, I would say, equally or more or less difficult. In the first 3 months, I had a good momentum and all, but as soon as the other things came along, like I had to prepare for interviews, I had to give sit for a gate examination and things like that. So along with that, it was very difficult to keep the consistency. So growing in this niche, I delved more into my own experiences while talking about things. So while I was preparing for interview, I would, and I had already like successfully cleared this interview. I was like, okay, this all I had learned from this experience. I had created like a diary notebook of what all my learnings was out of that, and I just posted about those things. While I was learning
Okay,
about concepts in chemical engineering, I tried to more on that. And in the recent few months, I had been trying to post more and more about process design or things I actually learn while working here, or getting new things which are not already available somewhere. And
okay,
also creatively, it like gives me more and more boost, because AI tools and everything is very prevalent. And in content creation, if you're using it in the right way, you it could be a lot of easy approach or an easy work for you to be able to do it in such a like mass bulk.
got
Yeah.
it, got it. So you talked about AI tools. Could you please walk us through the AI tools or whatever tools you are using in content creation?
Okay, so first of all, I would tell ChatGPT is one thing which I used consistently for maybe creating captions, maybe ideating my thoughts, or if I have something random, I just have a chat with ChatGPT.
Mhm.
And I usually like doing it in voice notes, and I get a lot of clarity on my thoughts and how we could frame this post and things like that. Gemini is one thing which just started after this Nano Banana takeover, and I have been using consistently Gemini for creating more and more images. Like even the big infographics that you see, most of them are created on Gemini, and I'm totally amazed with the things which are now possible with all
Got
of
it.
that.
Yeah.
N- Yeah, Notion is something which I use for planning daily, and Canva. Like Canva is the main thing where I design all my visuals, edit all of them, and it's so great to see that such an like useful thing is free out there, and like kudos to them. So these 4 5 things, yeah.
Okay. So, do you take the extra help of any other tools when it comes to complex formulas and diagrams, or is it just Gemini and ChatGPT?
So complex diagrams and formulae. So what I do is usually while I'm creating like an concept breakdown, I already have my
Okay.
notes around that.
Mm,
And since I'm not in my like home place right now, so I've carried a digital copy of them everywhere I go, and those are very useful while thinking about new things, because the inspiration about uh, trying to break down things came out of the place that I had very good handwritten notes, and I thought that I could post them directly, but I thought, okay, why not create such a standardized content that people would want to refer those rather than a handwritten thing, and it could be like it could easily spread to more and more people. So handwritten notes is something which I refer for those things, and to like visually keep them, I usually use like a screenshot of my word, like I type them on word or maybe something, and I use those screenshots. And for complex diagrams and all, previously I used to use reference book images and all of that, but
okay.
right now I generate them using Gemini, because it's like crazy how well it is able to like match the exact detail.
Yeah. So I would say that's really a good thought from your part, creating standardized notes and sharing with the engineering community. So, any recent graduates or who are is trying to create content in LinkedIn, hear this out. It's going to be ChatGPT, Gemini, Canva, and Notion. Those are going to be your best friends. So, uh, next, let's come out to some of your mistakes. Uh, when you were starting out, what was the biggest mistake that you made as a creator, and how do you advise others to avoid it?
Okay, so mistake, I think the biggest mistake I made while I was starting was to like keep going and going. So my I didn't took break. So that, like posting 2 or 3 posts a day and exhausting myself with all of that, I started to see that not posting more thing helps you reach more, but posting them consistently. Like if there is one post a day, or if there are 3 posts a day, 3 posts will eat like the viewership or the impressions of that one post, and the impact you're trying to create by that one post is would be fainted out because of that. And I didn't think, with the time I started learning more and more about how this algorithm works around LinkedIn. So yeah, maybe keeping yourself motivated consistently, but not exhausting yourself too much. So I had to take a break after that, and after that I began again. So yeah, no, don't like uh, be hard too much on yourself when you're beginning, because you won't see results that easily. You have to do it for a very long time. Keep doing it, and then after a few months or after a few weeks, you will get seeing people. And if you trust the process, then it will surely come around. So in the 21st day of posting, I had posted a distillation post, and like breakdown or around distillation, and that really went up, and that was my first viral piece of thing, and that got like 1 lakh impressions in nearly like 3 4 days, and that was very big for me, because I was having like around 3,000 4,000 followers until then, and that like changed a lot of things, and I got confidence in myself. And yeah,
Yeah, that's a huge number, I would say, considering at 3,000 followers, getting 1 lakh impressions is really huge. Kudos to you.
thank you.
So, two things that I get is trusting the process, staying consistent, and maybe posting 1x per day, but consistently, not overdoing it. So, if there is someone who is starting out with content creation, hear this out. Don't stress yourself posting 2x or 3x a day. Start with a niche, post 1x a day, but keep up the consistency. So, uh, what habits help you maintain this consistency?
uh, Not
Or
skipping
maybe
a day.
I could
uh,
rephrase the question. What habits or content creation systems, maybe you have created a content creation system for yourself that motivates you every day, and that helps you in maintaining the consistency. So could you please tell us about it?
Like I should not go, not get bored out of it. I think that, because if I'm posting something and if I'm putting something out there, am I, first of all, I'm thinking that am I getting value out of that? If I am not getting value out of that, but I am just posting for the sake of it, then that cannot be like kept for a very long time. If I'm posting something and if I am finding value in that, then I can expect others to find value in that. And that is something which kept me going consistently, and uh, which first of all like build a solid background around like the quality I wanted for my post. And with it, when you have such two or three things around you, then people would start appreciating those. And like people I used to refer notes for, or people I like many people in this engineering talks you have invited before, so those people had commented on my posts and all of that. So that felt very good, and that kept me going in this direction. And I would say that is how you build content. You do something and there is a feedback mechanism to it. You start feeling good and you are more motivated to do it ahead. Yeah, that is how, I guess, regarding consistency,
Okay.
did it answer your question?
Yeah, so it's your positive feedback loop that is fueling your consistency, and you end up creating more and more. Okay, that sounds good. So, what would you tell young engineers who feel they have nothing valuable to share online? Someone who wants to start their content creation journey in LinkedIn, but they are held up by the thought that I don't have anything valuable to share.
Uh, you create value when you are finding new things for yourself, and then you are, so if you are researching about something, or if you're doing a project, or if you are, say, have done a lot of research on a particular topic, and you feel that okay, this should be shared to many people, because I had to go through this 10-15 research papers to search about it, or I had to do this experiments in general. So you can start with what have you have actually done. So building projects, or doing research, or doing experiments gives you a lot of exposure of that field, and you feel that you have a particular amount of data, or particular amount of knowledge which you can share to other people, or you can just share your journey, that this has been the most difficult thing around this. So starting there could mean that whatever you are learning, you are putting it out there, and if someone else might be having difficulty in or he's going through that same path, then he could refer to your thing. So start with your own personal experiences, then try to move on to your getting a niche, and then talking about that niche for a very long time consistently. So then you can find value in the content you wish to post, or wish to like do, because you can't be someone else, you can do what someone else is already doing. So while I was starting, I had a
Yeah,
lot of like people I was inspired from, but I was like, okay, this is my voice and I will try to say it in the way I wish and I feel. So I felt that I was very good at graphics, I was very good at making notes, and I started with that, and that caught up into going into a lot of directions. And yeah.
yeah. So, first of all, start with your own learnings, share your experience, and then you end up finding a niche and stick on to that niche. That would be your advice to young creators.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's move on to the next question. Till now, we talked about how do you create content and what led to content creation. Another aspect I would like to know is how do you handle the pressure of being technically accurate, especially when posting to such a large audience?
Okay, so this has been like a very big thing. There were a lot of times where my professors, even who followed this, they were like, "Hey, you have to be accurate about what you post," and that is a responsibility on your shoulders, because someone else is referring onto this. And actually, there were a few times where the information I posted was maybe incorrect, or the formulae were maybe some
Okay.
numbers were here or there. So
Mm.
After that, what I did was solely refer my class notes and like the reference books we have for like such topics or formulae, and maybe get a, because I have already this like my notes already with me. So if there are some
Mm-hmm.
mistakes in that notes, we can refer always to a reference book. So for fluid mechanics, for heat transfer or for mass transfer, we have like the common reference book which we are using. So in case I'm finding that, okay, this might be a thing which could be of an issue, I just refer to those and make sure that I don't put out anything which is not correct.
Okay.
And
So that sounds like you put a lot of effort in maintaining the technical accuracy, which is really good, and I really appreciate it.
yeah.
So, moving on to our next question. Chemi Simplified has become a trusted learning page. At what point did you start seeing it as a community rather than just posting your notes and insights?
Okay, so KB Simplified, the page I had created just for the fact that what all I had posted way back before in the start of the year, like people were, I was still seeing impressions on them through the month. So I was like, I would want to repost these for the people who have not like seen my profile or seen anything, and maybe build it from a page from scratch. So I wanted to like see how can I rebuild all of this from zero if I were ever to be asked for. And that was an experiment on myself. So that began, and I started posting consistently on that as well, like daily posts. That was a commitment to like everyone and but and myself, that I'll be
Hmm.
posting daily on that.
Okay.
So as I went ahead and ahead, the people like there were some mutual people who were following my page as well and the Chemi Simplified page as well. But I seen more and more people from the industry, like not just from like particular our chemical engineering industry, because when I posted about fluid mechanics, mechanical engineering people started like following those posts or keep commenting, or maybe
Yeah.
someone from say instrumentation, and people all around like this engineering space started like interacting with my post. And I thought that this could be more than just me posting. We could have a lot of people bringing in their voices and like talking a lot more about the industry in general, or about the space in general, where we could like, so because thermodynamics is not just common to us, it is also for mechanical engineers, and it is also for,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, so things like that don't limit their boundaries to a particular specific domain. So after that, I felt that this could be a lot bigger, and then I started inviting people for posting content, and I had some discussions. I wanted the consistency and the like the correct nature and the like the visual element of the posts to be up to the standard which I wanted it for the page. So
Okay.
we had some, I have like two people now as community contributors for Chemi Simplified, and I
Hmm.
would want that more and more people join in. We are able to have different voices so that it does not remain like one thing, but we can cover a lot of new things, and I could get a lot of new things to learn from this experience.
Okay. So this is something new, and this is something that we would like to share with all our audience, that QME Simplified page is looking for more and more creators. If you are interested, do reach out to Dave. So what do you expect someone who wishes to be a community contributor? What do you expect from that person?
I would expect from them to just be curious about something. So just be curious in just be curious and committed to yourself that you would be able to do this, say if one post a week, then you would be able to do this for a say a matter of 10-12 posts. So have a
Okay.
new voice, have something new to say. Like if you are like if you want to talk about materials, or if you want to talk about how a particular like how electrolyzers are being manufactured, or how water treatment is working, or things like that, that
Mm-hmm.
are some niches which it would take a lot of time for me as a person to cover all of these things to whatever extent I have. So when more and more people join, we have created like already we have this uh, like database, or what would I say, the standardized thing of this information here. For now, if we have to research about something, we have to search for 2 or 3 pages. We have to go to research papers. But a simplified format where all of this information is available, if you are able to bring that, then and you are curious enough to know about things which bring value to you and to others. So yeah, that is something which I think we would want to uh, post on that page about. And anything new, if you're interested, then you can just reach out to us.
Okay, sounds interesting. So, what is your long-term vision for Chemi Simplified page? Do you see it evolving into courses, mentorship programs, or even something bigger?
So I had a very difficult time thinking about what my page is going to look like in, say, a few months or so. So for Chemi Simplified as well, I have no such clear plan. As of now, I am wanting more and more like things which we can talk about, and not into courses, obviously, but mentorship in form where the like industry experts can talk about things where uh, which are needed for people who are just starting around. So if
Okay.
you have faced any difficulties in whatever you do, you have had to start it from zero to reach a particular point, and you
Mm-hmm.
have learned this troubleshooting yourself. And that I think everyone is having to do from the starting itself. So it would be better if we all could connect somewhere and share all of these knowledge at a page, so that like the next generation of engineers lining up to enter into our industries, they are like more equipped with what all there is to learn, and then how operations or how design or all of these things are working. So maybe something towards that, but as of sure, this is just a thought in my mind.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see how it progresses.
Yeah.
So, from your perspective, does a degree alone help you prepare for your career? Or how important do you think is understanding concepts and actually being able to put them in practice rather than getting a university degree?
I would believe that a university degree just gives you a like a playground and your tools. But
Okay.
how do you want to go ahead? What direction you want to take, and how big you want to like how big you want to grow in your career or in a particular industry? That all is on the vision you have for, or the liking you have for the degree which you are doing. What
Mm-hmm.
happens is, like, most of the time, uh, students are not aware of the things possible in their industry, or what all they are interested about, because with the courses and with the exams and midterms and interns, the interest about the career and thinking about where will I be, or what industry actually excites me, or what doing actually excites me, that all limits to the final year where they are sitting for placements, or where they are finding their prospective careers. And not out of liking, but sometimes out of that they were selected in a particular company, they continue having a career in that direction. So an engineering degree just gives you path, but you have to be conscious enough about surroundings, about learning things, and just curious in general to be able to see a bigger picture out of this, and to be able to see where you want your career to go and what excites you to keep working in, because you have to be doing like for the next 25-30 years in your life ahead, you have to be working in
Exactly.
that industry based on the knowledge you have taken from the 4 years of your engineering degree. So have a vision for yourself, I would say, and like see where your mind takes you, because everyone is different. Someone would want to find a career in research, someone would want to like move abroad, work there, things like that, and someone would want to just stay at a like a manufacturing company in India. And all the paths are great, but if you are choosing them for yourself, then you are more confident that you will be continuing on them for a longer path. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. So, what is one recurring piece of advice that you find yourself giving to recent graduates? Or what do you think is a mistake that most recent graduates are making these days?
Uh, okay, so I have seen like people are not writing notes. That is something which like amazes me, that uh, because writing of these notes or penning it down just makes a lot of difference to the way you understand things. Like, be it about preparing for interviews or be it about anything, I feel the most confident when I have like penned that particular thing down, and I am, because learning from say ChatGPT or learning from an AI tool, the answers in your like semester examination, that all is easy. But when you actually want to uh, like express yourself for a an interview position, or when you actually want to think about this thing for deeply, it would be better to have that concept ingrained in yourself so much that you don't have to refer your notes back. So I have seen that recently this trend is going on, and that is not just limited to their semester examinations or all, but even when they are preparing for interviews and all. This is something I say to a lot of students, that try to, whatever you're thinking, try to pen it down, or try to maintain like a physical copy of that, or if you're free, that you can type onto that, so you have your thoughts somewhere at least, and
Mhm.
those could be useful while you are having to replicate those. So having like this in part of your preparation could help long way.
Yes, so I have seen this in my my batch as well. That there would be few people with a good handwriting and who are attentive enough in the class who prepare the notes, and just 2 days before the exam, you take a screenshot, or I mean,
Yeah,
you get a scanned copy distributed in the class WhatsApp group, and most of the students ends up studying from that.
yeah,
So I have read it somewhere that when you actually write, you are using multiple parts of your brain. You are using your eyes, you are using your hands, and then of course your mind. So it 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 is engraved more in a better manner into your memory. So always writing something is more effective than just looking into something and reading, or just depending on PDFs or something like that. Yeah.
exactly.
So this is a big piece of advice. It might sound very simple when you hear it, but even from my perspective, a very, very effective uh, piece of advice, I would say. Thank you so much. And I believe it's exactly because of that you were able to start your content creation journey as well. You had all your notes, so creating LinkedIn post was really easy. Looking back into your notes,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So notes are a long-term investment. You can refer back to them even after years. So everyone, please start taking notes. Th- That's
Yeah.
our advice. So yeah, that was really good. Now, let's move on to the skills that a chemical engineering graduate should have. What do you think are the skills that a recent chemical engineer should try to build beyond the traditional coursework, considering the fact that we are in the era of AI boom?
Okay, so I have gotten a lot of questions like, should I learn the simulation tool, or like in similar ways, what are the other skills I would require for my resume and all of that. So beyond all of that, beyond before starting all of that, you should start building projects in terms that you should start thinking about things in a more like more depth, in a more way, that how could I design the system or things like that. So starting with projects, if you have say a problem statement which you want to solve. So for example, in my btech, I did a project on biomass gasification for
Mhm.
hydrogen or syngas production. That was my starting point, and for that I had like did my thorough research and all of that. And I had gotten a lot of information about the industry in general, like is the like the hydrogen production and the hype around it. So being aware about things, building a project would make you aware about a lot of things, and that is something you have to be apart from your like traditional courses. Second thing
Mm-hmm.
that this project helped wanted me to learn new things. Like I had to develop a flow sheet for that. So for developing flow sheets, I had to learn how process modeling works. For learning process modeling, I had to learn the basics of it. I had to go through a lot of different things, like how does a particular reactor is simulated in say a software like Aspen Plus or DWSIM. That got me into learning, actually learning the Aspen Plus software.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
the software which I learned, I had to do a lot of iterations on it. I had to learn it from scratch, and also that built another skill in my portfolio that I was able to solve. For this solving this problem, I had to get a lot of tools. So like process modeling or like simulation tools is something which I learned. And after that, documenting your work is a very big skill which is very underrated. Like documenting or reporting your findings and to be able to present them very in effective way to somewhere or someone is something which maybe less people focus upon right now in these days. And that is something which I would feel that, because right now if you would ask me about a particular finding from my project, there I have my report ready already, I have my presentation ready already, so I can refer to that in say 5-10 minutes and replicate those to you, and that will stay for me forever. So like a point regarding the notes, documenting your whatever your learnings are for yourself and like presenting them. So I had to learn latex language. Like latex is a coding language for creating this research papers or articles or
Yes.
this project reports and all of that. So I had to
Mm-hmm.
learn that as well. So
Okay.
through all of that, there was a lot of learning which add into my resume. But my motive or what all I got it out of it was nowhere linked to the first idea with which I started this project. So I started this project with something new about learning about hydrogen, and that got me these 4 or 5 things which I did get, which I didn't thought I would get at the end of it. So start like project building in your bachelor degree while you're in your bachelor's or doing group projects helps you learn a lot of things, like how do we work in teams, how do we deal with people, how do we manage deadlines, how do we, and all of that. So and fortunately for our, we had a lot of technical groups inside our college, so a lot of clubs working around these projects for competitions and all of that. So that was something which was very useful for me. And yeah, that's in general, because that's add a lot of value into a resume, which you can't get otherwise.
Okay. So now let's talk about your gate preparation strategies. You had cracked gate twice. Um, so what changed between these two attempts, both in strategy and mindset? How did you tackle revisions and how did you solve previous year questions? So could you please walk us through how your preparations looked like? Basically, we would like to know about your enter gate preparation journey.
Okay, so preparing for GATE in while I was in my third year, it was like the not the final attempt. Obviously, I was aware that I would be having another attempt. So for third year, my entire focus was to have like more and more subject covered for the thing and for the paper. So you have a lot of subjects like the core engineering subject. So I had my detailed engineering notes for them, like uh, for like the entire syllabus, but I had to skim out a lot of parts which were relevant for the examination and which were not relevant. So for the notes which I had written in detail, I had to create a separate, like just for the gate preparation, I had to create some content, and that was part of my revision as well. So I had to write the
Okay.
important formulae, the important concepts, the important questions which would be prevalent, and that was just the initial scan of the paper. So most of this I understood after I gave the first attempt. I had
Okay.
done like 2 or 3 mock papers before going to the examination for the first attempt. And while appearing for that, there were a lot of subjects which I didn't even cover because those were not covered in our coursework until then.
Mm.
So I was confident that I would be able to clear them in the next attempt. But I went with a like what all I know, I should at least replicate those in the examination, and I think I did well the first time, and the got the rank. Although this for the second time, I already knew that what my preparation, where I'm, what are the weak points, where I am weak, and what all things I need to do. So what happened is that sometimes questions solving is a thing where you need a lot of consistency and you need to solve a lot of questions around. So covering your syllabus is one thing, but attempting more and more questions and going out of your way to solve more and more mocks, like mock papers, that is very necessary for attempting. I haven't got a 2 digit or a 1 digit rank. I would say that I have a 3 digit rank. But for whatever strategy I have had was also moving on to the questions part or solving the mock tests part, because that helped a lot in like strategy making for the paper. So I knew that I had to cover these sections prior. If there was say 2 or 3 questions which I wasn't able to attempt, I was just not getting demotivated out of that, but I was just skipping those questions and moving ahead on to whatever I knew. I covered first of all I knew already, and then move on to the more and more difficult questions. These are few things which you catch upon for yourself by yourself while you are attempting more and more papers. So when you're putting yourself in a situation that you would be sitting for 3 hours solving so many questions, and then you get an idea, okay, I do mistakes at these points, I am very bad at like
Mm-hmm.
very basic calculations. You can remember a lot of formulas, but what happens is when you're doing very basic calculations, you sometimes blunder a digit here and there, and that costs you
Yeah,
that
you
questions.
missed a
And
decimal point and the whole answer changes.
yeah, and to be able to be attentive enough, but in your mind a clock is ticking, so you have to be fast enough but attentive enough at the same time, and that comes naturally when you solve a lot of questions and do that. So I had done around 20-25 mock papers before actually going into the actual examination after. But for the preparation and the covering the course, I was not bothered about covering the entire thing because I have already seen the previous trends. So getting in the from the 100 marks, getting more than 55 or 60 would help you get a under 100 rank as per the trends. So my focus was to correctly attempt what all I knew and what all part I knew. So in the final attempt as well, there were only 1 or 2 questions which were incorrect of all the questions I had attempted. I just left the questions which I was not confident about, and that was my strategy moving forward, and that worked for me. Now,
Okay.
for example, someone would have gotten even a better rank, and the strategy he used worked for him only, or work best for himself. So what I would suggest is creating your own strategy comes from putting yourself into this mock tests situation and getting a lot of inputs from that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, after two successful attempts, what is one myth about gate preparation that you wish students would stop believing?
Uh, like if you cover the entire syllabus, you are able to score a very good rank. I've had my friends who have like under 50 or under 30 ranks, and they have like they did cover the entire syllabus, but they were not focused. They were focused upon covering the bigger chunks like mass transfer, heat transfer, fluid mechanics, and process control, and all that. So covering those maximum, if you don't, this is not an exam where you attempt 100 of questions and get all of them correct. This is more a strategy based thing, which maybe people who have already given a JEE examination or people who have already given such
Mm-hmm.
competitive, they know about these examinations, because uh, it is not about attempting everything correctly. It is about attempting and getting most of the like more and more questions correct, because when you give an incorrect question, you get down by those negative marks, and that
Yes, yes.
affects the on your entire score.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's more about the strategy and more about doing what you know rather than attempting everything, like covering the entire syllabus and all, I'm like, if I wasn't able to cover the syllabus, all the best to you if you are planning to do that.
Okay. What's one chemi
Okay.
topic you would explain to someone even if someone woke you up at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Okay. So, yeah, about heat exchangers, I believe, because heat exchanger is a topic which is something which we had seen in practical. Because in our second year of engineering, we did a project on design and manufacturing of a double pipe heat exchanger. So, even before designing, like most of the people like leave this project or such things on designing. So we did design, we did all the calculations, but we actually got like metal pipes and the fittings and everything, and validated our calculations of the design for
Oh,
the actual model. So and that was a group project which like 10 or 11 of us did at that time, and that was a very good like experience about building a project and a lot of things. So heat exchangers or how to do these calculations. This is something which I can like tell anyone at any time
yeah,
because I had seen it physically and I practically built it. So
that's really interesting. So, heat transfer is one of my most favorite subjects as well. I find it really interesting, especially the design of heat exchangers. So, which method did you use? The Kern's method?
it was a double pipe heat exchanger.
Oh, okay,
So
double pipe
uh,
heat exchanger.
it was
Got
a
it, got
very
it.
basic thing
Okay.
in the terms of method, but more difficulty was in validating the particular result. So when you consider fouling coefficient in
Hmm?
the calculation, and when you see your metal pipe get fouled from outside and you see the flow rates not coming, the temperatures not meeting up, then you realize that actually where problem exists and where do we troubleshoot all of those. So there were
Okay.
some losses regarding the bends, and I mean there were a lot of things. So yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. So moving on to our next question. Uh, you are stranded on an island and you can carry only one chemical engineering textbook. Which one would you choose?
I would want to have food and water stranded on a line first of all.
Of
And
course.
yeah, so and like all the chemical engineering textbooks are like wonderful, but any day I would prefer my own notes about someone else explaining them in those
Wow.
typical notes. I would prefer my own notes. But if I had to answer that question, then Richardson Coulson is a book I'm a big fan of Richardson Coulson. So because there the design of every element and every like multi-component distillation, or for example design of a heat exchanger, as we already discussed, things like this have been explained in a lot of detail. So maybe all the six editions of the Richardson Coulson,
Okay.
if I would be able to carry, then yeah.
Yeah, so everyone please take a note of it. Richardson and Coulson is going to be a gem for your chemical engineering preparations. That's what Dave wants to carry with him.
Yeah.
So we come to the end of our show. It was really nice having you there. You shared a ton of information with us and with our audience. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you for inviting me. Like, I don't think of myself as someone who is already very like advanced in this field, or I'm just a learner, just a student, right, as
But
of
now
now.
we do.
And I'm like,
We always do,
it
and
was,
now we do a little more after hearing your insights, your journey, and your experiences.
yeah, and I mean, it was a very good experience for me because uh, having to talk about a lot of things, and actually, if it is being useful for everybody, then it's a very big plus. And so I was just saying, thank you for inviting me for this. And
Sure,
I don't consider myself as someone who has had a lot of experience with this. I'm just learning, and I'm just someone who has been through a lot of things lately, and I have been sharing about that. And it's great if someone is finding value in what all experiences I have had. And thank you for having this platform like Engineering Talks, where people could talk about a lot of things. And even I'm finding a lot of sessions valuable. So thank you for considering me for this. Yeah.
yeah. Pleasure having you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye bye.